Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Kickin' Show, the official podcast of Kicking the Tires. Tonight, we have with us Zach Catanzarete, Seth Eggert, and as always, Justin Schuler. And I'm joining us this week. Apparently, I had some other stuff to do last week, but I'm here. And we're going to be joined by a special guest tonight, none other than the winner from the Talladega Superspeedway Xfinity race, Brandon Brown. And here he is, as I told everyone, Brandon Brown, the Talladega Xfinity winner from this past weekend, and the guy that we actually had the logo on the car a few weeks ago at Nashville Superspeedway. Brandon Brown, thank you for coming on the show tonight, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'll put some light on it. No, it's great to be here, especially to talk to you guys after a win. I mean, I loved doing the reports with you guys about announcing sponsors. Those are great, but this one I think is a little better.
This one is definitely better, and we're very happy to have you on. Man, I talked to you after the race, and thanks for the photo in Victory Lane. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I actually thought I was going to get in trouble because NASCAR said, media doesn't really interact with stuff like that, but they came to me and they said, "Hey, you sponsor, you're kind of a sponsor. You're on the hauler. Go to Victory Lane and get your photo taken." So that was a really cool deal.
Nice. I mean, now you'll be able to walk into the media centers like, chest puffed out a little bit. Let them know, like, guess who's in Victory Lane.
They already know. I did go back, and Jim Utter and Chris Knight and all that. I was bragging big time. So, but they everybody, man, you are the feel good story of the weekend. The whole weekend is actually a feel good story, from Tate to you to Bubba. But talk about what how's it sank in over the past few days?
It's been one of those things that everybody has, I've gotten a lot of people that have reached out and congratulated us, which has been fantastic. I mean, it still isn't like quite sunk in yet. Like, we just brought the trophy home this evening because we did a bunch of celebration stuff with it. It's got one more trip to do a commercial with the folks at Larry's Lemonade, and then it'll finally rest here at the house until we can get a North Carolina full-time shop up and running. But I mean, it's just been a phenomenal week. After, I mean, it's one of those things where I've told people already, like, man, like, I really need to get my mindset focused forward to Charlotte, because we got a race again this Saturday, and I'm still reliving Talladega. So it's one of those things where, I don't know if I'll ever stop reliving that moment in my head for quite some time, but it's just been an awesome week. I think it's an awesome weekend for the sport of NASCAR, for the guys that kind of work a little harder, wear more hats, smaller team, smaller budget, could pull it off with the right place and right time. And then Bubba Wallace getting his first win. I mean, everything's huge for our sport, and I think we're all moving in the right direction. And I think it's something that put the wind in the sails of NASCAR, and definitely in the sails of BMS.
I see that Ruoff Victory Lane champagne behind you. Leftover
that
from
one.
That one. That's pretty. Don't worry, that's fine. I know that you had a great celebration and had a lot of fun. What was the night like after you kind of calmed down? Because I know that. Hey, what did Cindric say to you, by the way? What did he say in Victory Lane?
Oh, he just came up and congratulated us because he's been one of the few that have actually talked to us and kind of hung out with us, I guess would be the right term. Like, didn't really make us feel as much of an outcast since the beginning. And Doug Randolph was his crew chief at BKR when they were in trucks. So it was awesome for him to come over and give us the congratulations, real sportsman act. Like, it was great for him to do. But yeah, I had to steal one of the champagne bottles from Victory Lane. I didn't open it or drink it because it's like one of those things that I'm like, I'm going to keep this forever until it's going to start smelling really bad if it ever the stench ever gets out. So I'll save that one and we'll drink this one.
There you go. Larry's Lemonade hey, I tried some. It doesn't suck, that's for sure. I thought,
Mm-hmm. Nope, the draft sucks, but Larry's doesn't. So
well, Zach, and you've met Justin. Seth, I don't know if you've met Seth Eggert before.
I interviewed him back in 2019 when I was with Motorsports Tribune.
Okay.
I'm just curious, how does the dynamic of sharing the shop with Young's Motorsports, who also got a win with Tate at Talladega, how does that dynamic work?
much like I don't know, like, do you guys have siblings? Like brother, sister?
I
Like,
don't.
and when you were a kid, like, did your parents ever make you share a bedroom for a little bit? Whether they were,
Yep.
changing it
Yep.
from a nursery to a bedroom, and then they stick your little brother or little sister in with you. And it's kind of like that, where like, you kind of bump knuckles a little bit, because it does make things a little tight when we have a lot of cars down and they have a lot of trucks in shop. But at the same time, it's also helpful, like, when your little brother gets scared of the dark and you're there, you're helpful to be there. So when we run into some situations where things are tight, we got to get to either NASCAR or RCR or whatever, they've been gracious to let us, Tyler's let us use his truck and trailer, and they've helped us out with moving stuff around. And when we're there late at night, they've helped us with here and there. So they've been, really awesome to work with. Guys in the fab shop have been great. So I mean, that's kind of like the best analogy I can use for it. It's, I think it's a great working dynamic. Everybody, socializes with everybody. Like, there's a good rapport. There's nobody that hates one another, which is good. But yeah, it's a lot like that.
Zach, you interview Brandon a lot, and I think you guys are going to set something up for tomorrow as well. There's another announcement coming, but talk to what did you think about when you saw the guy that you're interacting with all the time come across the start finish line as the winner?
Well, I was talking with Mac earlier, and I knew when that darkness was getting darker and darker, we knew at any moment this thing can end. Very similar to Sunday when it came to the rain. I'm sure it was much more aggressive out there, and then that wreck happened, and they were like 2 and 3 wide for the lead. And I saw when they came back from replay, it had Brandon's name at the top. I'm like, oh boy, this might be it. And I told Mac, I'm like, if he's gonna, this is the day. And NASCAR ended up putting his name up there, and it was absolutely incredible. Wish I was there. But yeah, Brandon, I've gotten to speak with a lot of your sponsors, obviously with Brandon Built News, and whether it's return guys like Jabs with Tim with up in Virginia, or Larry's Hard Lemonade, or maybe newer guys like Ryan and Alex with Trade the Chain, all they tell you is to bring the steering home, to bring the steering wheel home. They just want you to go out there and win and do whatever you got to do. But how hard it is to actually win. So, what does it really mean to actually bring a trophy home to the guys who support you? Yeah, that's it's incredibly special to bring it home to your partners, especially when you tell them, like, look, the money that you're spending with us, I'm not taking it and then going to the dealership and buying a brand new ski boat. Like, I wish I was. But no, it's actually all going into the competition side. And how do you let them know without actually winning on track that, like, hey, this is really going towards the competition. Our runs were getting a little better. We were finishing better. On the stat sheet, this is our best season yet, minus like tanking out for 4 races in a row. It's one of those things where when you bring home the trophy, you bring home the win, you validate that spend with them completely on the competition side. Now, the ROI side, the getting the sales to them and stuff, I hope it's working. According to Larry's, they're sold out until 2022, and they're trying to make more. So I guess that's working. But no, because even Vic has said, he's the one that stepped up at the beginning of the year when things looked pretty down and out for us, that to have him on the car when we won, that's really, really special. But it's awesome to bring it home for Andy Garrett and Garrett Developers and Tim Jabs and his whole family, and just everybody that's been along the journey. It's been awesome.
I got to get a small sticker or something, somewhere we got to put a little small kicking on there too again. Justin, you're
got to get another one.
Yeah, definitely. And I told you, think about this real quick. Before the race was the first time I got to go over and actually kick the tires on the hauler with the logo on it. And I tweeted that out, and then you win the race. So I think I need to probably go kick the tires a few more times.
I have to like skedaddle over the hauler and just, kick the next tire, or is it actually the same one? Kick the same one.
Kick the same one.
Yes, that same one is definitely the lucky one.
Yeah.
Justin, anything from you for Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon, this was a historic weekend. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not the only first-time winner. Tate was the first-time winner. Bubba was the first-time winner. It's the first time in NASCAR we've seen all three series have first-time winners. So what does that feel like? Because it's not just a first-time win, but your name goes into a record book as one of the first of these three to get their first-time wins in the same weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great honor to have that, to know that that's a stat now forever. It's pretty cool. Now, it's not like which was the most important, but you know, it's one of those things that to be you know, to be able to celebrate this with Tate, and then I haven't gotten to celebrate with Bubba, but you know, we're both celebrating simultaneously. So I'll say celebrating with Bubba. It's awesome to be a part of this historic weekend. It's something that when people look back and they read it off, they're always going to read off my name, and you know, it's something awesome that I can say, you know, well, if you know, I still like, I'm hoping racing really works out. If it does, then fantastic. If not, hey, I came in and you know, took a family team and we won in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So it's definitely a special piece of knowledge to have.
You know, and a family team going to victory lane is always huge in NASCAR because it's such a family-oriented sport. But Zach was also mentioning a lot of your sponsors being so loyal to you throughout the years, and Jabs being probably the biggest one that comes to mind. Have you talked with anyone from there, or even from Larry's? How have they, you know, what have they said about the win finally after all these years?
Oh yeah, I mean, Vic and everybody at Larry's was crying. They were so ecstatic. Tim shot us a bunch of messages about it, that you know, he was so proud of us and happy for us. And Andy Garrett's been, you know, blowing us up about how he's so happy for us. Just all of our, even Green Tech Solar, who was on one time earlier this year, and they'll be on our Phoenix car. It's even he was like reaching out like, hell yeah. And like, I've had associate partners that reach out, and they're, you know, they're all about it. It's, you know, I'm just, you know, thrilled, over the moon, that all of our partners are so invested in the competition side of racing, and not just, you know, it's not just like to be there just to be there, or they're there because there's another deal going on that kind of just threw them on the car. It's something where they are personally invested into it. So I feel it's as much their win as it is ours.
Well, Brandon, I have a couple of things real quick. First off, you know, your win kind of shattered my hopes and dreams of having a kicking diecast, but I'm still working on that. I'm still working on a kicking diecast, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, but it might actually happen. But I know that you're getting a diecast from the Larry's Lemonade win car. That was announced. How cool is that to know that that's actually going to happen?
Oh, it's awesome, because I've been blown up by people about, can I get a die cast? Can I get a t-shirt? Can I get a hat? You know, I really got to get on the ball with that. I mean, other people are making my shirts now that just say, let's go Brandon. I don't think they're referring to me, but I think they're just saying, let's go Brandon. So I'm glad I could do that for the Brandons of the world. But no, it's awesome to have that finally roll out, and something cool where, you know, now we'll see, you know, how many fans are actually buying into it and not just tweeting at me saying they would. So now it's hey, people, put your money where your mouth is. But no, it's super cool, and to get to work with the folks at Lionel finally, it's something where we've tried before. We've reached out, and you know, to put the spend together to make it happen. Yeah. And this one I like because it's free.
That's so, right.
Exactly. I like that.
Well, I am going to work on the other, but I'm going to make you an offer right now. We have a lot of photos of, and I know that Dalen is your photographer, but if you need anything from us for shirts or anything like that, that's comp to you. So you can have awesome. all marketing rights to that stuff. And I'll be happy to do that for everything that you've done for us at Kicking. I will say this: when you were pulling down after your burnouts and everything, this NASCAR officials were talking about, hey, they got to check the lug nuts on the car and all this stuff. And I know a couple of them like, hey, the lug nuts are fine. Nothing wrong. They're all tight. Everything's secure. Just send it in victory lane. And they started laughing at me. But I started thinking about that. Did you, with it being a super speedway, there's always worries about tech inspection.
Pray to
did
the
that
tech
go through?
gods.
Did tech go through your mind as you were sitting there talking to us on the Zoom call after you won?
Oh, I guess I must have made my face out loud, because I did actually, like, it did like kind of hit me like, oh my God, what if it's something where I'm sitting doing a Zoom interview with all the people and they're like, Brandon, we just got word that your car failed tech. How does that make you feel? Like, I would have cried. I don't know. But it's one of those things where it's the same anxiousness that you have like when they called the race, and because when they called it, we're on the backstretch and we're like, all right, and like you want to start celebrating and screaming, but you're like, get over the start finish line, because like you're staring at your fuel pressure gauge, like stay up, like, or I'm gonna run over the pace car trying to stay up at speed so I can coast to the finish line. And Doug's like, just make sure you cross the checker, just cross the checker, go over the start finish line. I was like, I guess he didn't want a repeat of Mark Martin in Bristol. That's what he was worried about, I guess. But that anxious feeling of like, just nothing go wrong. Like, we've made it this far. We're 99.9% there. Like, everything happened okay.
Did they tell you to pass the pace car? Because that freaked me out when I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the end, after we crossed the start finish line, they were like, go ahead and pass the pace car, go do your burnout, celebrate.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Because I was worried. I was like, okay, because the start finish line at Talladega is, further past the halfway mark of the tri-oval, and I'm like, he's passing the pace car. I hope they told him to pass the pace car. So, but man, so
yeah,
because I'm like, we don't need, Bob Pockris and Jeff Gluck would just have a field day with that. We don't need to give them any fodder to write about those. Love them both, but
because then all the comments are going to ask about lights on the car all of a sudden.
Well, Brandon, I know you've got a busy schedule. I appreciate you spending some time with us. We're going to cut you loose and let you go. But man, anytime you want to be a guest, you've got the Zoom link. Just give us a holler.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll be glad to have you on. And thanks again. And good luck this weekend at the ROVAL.
Awesome. Thank you. I definitely need it. So pray to the rain gods for a little bit, but not a lot, because we saw last year's ROVAL. Not enough to hydroplane and destroy a car, please, but enough to help us still be fast.
So let's see. I'll come out and meet you again. Jerry will come kick your hauler tire. Zach will do a quick interview. Seth,
I'll be there.
I was gonna say Seth will be there this time. So we got all our cards in the deck ready to go.
There we go. Seth, keep existing. Just keep existing for us, buddy.
Well, you guys take care. Thanks a lot, Brandon, again, and we'll see you down the road.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, fantastic conversation there with Brandon. He's always been very just a fantastic guy for us to talk with. I've gotten to work with him a lot this year, so no surprise that he gave us a lot of fun information there. And as we kind of talked about there a little bit, he wasn't obviously not the only winner, but the only new winner that we saw this weekend. It all started earlier that day on, I believe, Saturday. It was Tate Fogleman winning in pretty incredible fashion in that truck race. That was something. I mean, I thought we kind of had a good idea on how that race was running. It was a lot of side-by-side, a lot of new faces up front, but then a lot of guys that we always see up front, in any race, especially at Talladega. And that all got thrown upside down, inside out, and backwards. I mean, we had a lot of guys who got taken out in multiple wrecks. We had that big wreck earlier around midway, I think. So it really opened up the floodgates to a lot of brand new faces. And once that last wreck happened in turn 3, it came down to John Hunter Nemechek, who, he can win every week, but he was Tate Fogleman pushing him, and we had Tyler Hill behind him. And coming through the tri-oval, I saw Fogleman going for it, and I'm like, go for it, man. This is your time to win. I think he only led one lap his whole career before today. I think he had one top 10 to his whole career. I mean, this was like a make or break moment for him. And he went for that move. He kind of did the over under, went to the bottom, maybe overshot it a little bit, came up a little bit. John Hunter came down and they made contact, and Fogleman won. And then he ended up wrecking across the line with Tyler. It's the second time in 3 weeks we've had cars crashing across the line. Freaking love it. Unbelievable. Thankfully they were okay. They hit hard, but what a win. I mean, Young's Motorsports, I mean, they haven't gotten too many wins. I think this was only the second, and they won 2 years ago with Spencer Boyd. So that was massive for Tate. I mean, a lot of guys probably don't even know his name. He's been with smaller equipment, smaller teams, and he hasn't really gotten his breakthrough chance yet. So for him to make that happen himself, his truck was pretty torn up, but he kept it enough in contention to where he made the right move at the end. So big congratulations to him.
Yeah, that was a huge win because you mentioned Tate. Well, his dad actually is a racer also. I believe it was Ryan Blaney who raced against his dad in other series throughout the years,
in late models and legend cars.
Yeah,
and one last thing, real quick. Jay Fogleman, Tate's dad, was the previous driver of the number 68 before Brandon Brown eventually got the number, and he had the previous best finish
of the number 68 car
until Brandon Brown. So it's funny how all that works out.
Of course, our stat guy would have that. The keeper of stats. Existing. Yeah, you're just existing. That's okay.
Hey, stat guy, how many trucks did not spin out on Saturday morning?
Well, 19 were out of the race due to accident.
Well, actually, I can tell you, none of them spun out in the morning. I think all these races were like late, weren't they?
Afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's just troubles of being on the West Coast. Like this race was finished before lunchtime over here.
Yeah, it wasn't dark for you for the Xfinity race, was it?
And no, it was dark when the truck race started.
And I will say this: it would have only been 17 trucks had one used the brakes in that big one.
3 pedals. Okay, 3 pedals on underneath the steering wheel of the car. Okay,
and instead of using the brake pedal, Jennifer Jo Cobb flat-footed and completely ripped off the right rear suspension of Parker Klingerman's truck.
And he was your pick too.
Yeah.
And he had avoided the wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not bitter about that, are you?
I sense some saltiness, some bitterness.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, this isn't the first time Jennifer's had a stunt like that at Talladega.
She fits in just fine with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. then.
Yeah, but on average,
average,
Stenhouse is more absent from.
She's got the right idea though. You don't need brakes at Talladega. What the heck's that for? It's weight reduction, bro.
I will say this: if you go to kickingthetires.net, you need to go check out the photos. I was on my game this weekend, so I got some pretty decent photos of the wreck up in turn 3 and some of the other stuff that was happening at the track. So, just saying, not bragging. Don't want to be cocky. Don't want to be arrogant. But yeah, I was. I got some pretty decent shots, almost as good as Zach when Zach's at the track.
Well, that one I think you got Fogleman and Nemechek, right? And he just was spinning off his front nose. I thought I saw one.
Yeah.
Like,
yep, sure did.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, did you make the photo meeting today?
I did.
Okay, I was worried. You didn't respond. I don't want Steph Harris not allowing us to have photographers this weekend. So thanks. I'm glad you were on there.
I would say a shout out to Corey Roper finishing 6th. He finished 3rd earlier this year at Daytona. So a part-time driver getting almost 2 top 5s. That's really good for him.
Another driver who had a good run and a career best run, Keith McGee, who I know Sarah has worked with from time to time, got his first career top 10. And after that big one, he was guaranteed to have a career best finish.
Oh,
that's got to make you feel good.
Wow, that's
because of the equipment he's in.
Right.
Still, that's quite like that puts a grin. Like I'll just say, as a racer, when you're in the car and you know something like that already puts a grin on your face, and it just sets a whole new level of like, now I'm having fun.
Yeah. Well, he didn't give up. He could have parked it at that point.
That's right. You could have parked it and gone home.
And got a whole lot more. And obviously, you mentioned it earlier, Zach, Tyler Hill getting runner-up. I mean, I know both those guys would have absolutely loved to get their first career win, but that's cool to see 2 guys that you would have never thought being side by side at the line like that, going for the win. So really cool run for some of these guys.
Well, there was another race on Sunday/Monday, the Cup race, and another first-time winner with Bubba Wallace. But before we get to that, I just want to say to all the Bubba haters out there, get over it. Okay? Whether you hate him because I don't know why you hate. I know why you hate him. I know why a lot of you hate him. I can read a list of social media posts, and I started to do it and call everybody out. But yeah, Bubba's African American. Okay? He hasn't had the best equipment in the past. Okay? But you know what? I don't care if he's black or white or whatever. He races his ass off. And for me personally, I will always admire Bubba Wallace. Okay. I don't know if I said this on the show or not, but when I needed someone to come do an appearance for me during the playoff pursuit several years ago, back in 2016, and no driver would come and do it, not one. Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney came over and did a media invite on, driver availability just for kicking the tires. I will always remember that. Okay. Because all the friends that I have in the garage, and they were too busy, couldn't make it happen. I didn't get with them. Bubba and Ryan came over there and met with those fans at Texas Motor Speedway, and I will always be thankful for that. Bubba's got a fan in me, and I'll take up for him. And if anybody has a problem with that, unfollow me on Twitter. Don't read Kicking the Tires. I don't care. But Bubba Wallace has my support going forward. He has the entire support of Kicking the Tires as far as I'm concerned. So congratulations to him. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on his win, but I wanted to get that out there because I've been reading nothing but trash and garbage over the past few days since he won that race. Don't give me that crap about, it was rained out. We've had rain for days, okay? We've had rain for since the beginning of time. People in that race knew it was going to rain. He formed his own line out on the outside, up at the top, and he's done that in 3 races that I can recall where he's worked his way to the front. He earned it. He deserves to get that win. End of story.
I'll add a few things to that. One, if you don't think Bubba Wallace deserved this win, then apparently you have no clue what it's like to win in trucks at tracks like Eldora and Martinsville. So just go sit back down.
Or Michigan.
Michigan. So like you've never driven a car on track before. I can already tell you that. So Bubba knows how to drive a car. He knows how to take care of his car. He knows how to work with his team. He's a race car driver. And you can tell that, like, especially after interviewing him a few times, he's a race car driver. This guy is aggressive. He's competitive. He has a ton of fun. But when he puts that helmet on, he gets serious behind the wheel and wants to finish as high up in the running order as possible. I think he said in a Brickyard a couple of years ago, like, we don't belong up here. He stays humble, but stays hungry. And he said that in his post-race interview. And that's always admired me so much with him, is that exact quote that he has. He stays humble and he stays hungry. And it's finally paid off. Plus, if you think he just got lucky here at Talladega, granted, tracks like Talladega, Daytona, you do need a little luck. I'll give you that. But this year, so far, Bubba Wallace has earned the most points on playoff races in 2021 out of all the Cup Series drivers. It's like 175 points he's earned compared to the rest of the field that's all behind him in total points from restrictor plate tracks. So was I surprised that he got a win? No. Was I surprised it came at Talladega? No. So just sit back down, because almost 99% of y'all whining on Twitter have never been in a race car before. So just sit back down.
Yeah, it's very deserving, of course. I mean, he's proven himself to be such a fantastic plate racer, and he leads almost every time we go to Daytona and Talladega. And he had one of the best last laps. The August race at Daytona last year, he was in the 43. I think he went from 17th to 5th on the last lap. Just by whipping around that like you mentioned, the outside, Justin, like every time he gets the lead from the outside, like Harvick at the 07 Daytona 500, like just blasting out there. Every time we go there, I mean, he nearly won his dual race this year in February. Like, he just has that knack for it. And everyone knew the rain was coming. They interviewed Logano later, and he's like, it was 5 laps to go out there. And that's just what happens when, similar with Xfinity, when the darkness was coming, anytime it's raining, these guys, it's 100% every lap because they're racing to the rain. They don't know when it's going to end. And, we saw what happened to Elliott Sadler, about a decade ago in the Daytona 500. If he held on to the lead for 30 more seconds, he would have been the Daytona 500 champion. But Kenseth passed them, and he regrets that to this day. So every time the rain is coming, they're pushing it. And he pulled the correct blocks. And I mean, that block he did on Keselowski was crazy. I mean, he had Logano pushing him, and I thought for sure Brad was gonna push down to the bottom, but maybe that ended up hurting Brad, because when you have a teammate with you, now you have to start thinking about a teammate. And Bubba, I mean, he had Hamlin and Chris Bell, but they were kind of working together throughout the whole time. And, Bell needed that help to get into the next round. And so I feel like Bubba was really on his own. And I think in a situation like that hurt Keselowski, because he was thinking about Joey behind him. Whereas Bubba, he wasn't thinking about anybody. He was blocking everybody, Kurt, no matter who it was. And I think that ended up winning him the race.
And now me being the stat guy, Bubba has this in common with several drivers as far as winning rain shortened or shortened races in general. Davey Allison earned his first win at Talladega in a rain shortened race.
Hey, real quick. Did anybody bitch and moan about that?
Nope.
Twitter
that's what I
wasn't even
thought.
invented yet.
Wait,
so
Eric Almirola.
Thank God.
Eric Almirola got his first win in a rain shortened race at Daytona. No one complained about that. Same with Chris Buescher in the fog shortened race at Pocono. Justin Haley with the lightning at Daytona, yes, people did complain about that. Logano with the rain shortened race at New Hampshire, no one complained about that. No one complained about Newman's rain shortened race win. And there were some people who did complain about David Rudimann's rain shortened first win in the Coke 600.
I didn't. It was pouring down rain. I was there.
oh yeah.
I was there, but I was in the stand, so I heard people on that end. So
and that was just because they didn't like Michael Waltrip Racing and everything that happened with that. That's
probably. But out of the 8, only 3 have people complain about: Rudiman, Haley, and Bubba.
And not deserved by any of them, because everybody races under the same rules and straps in, and gets out there, and they all have strategies, and Bubba earned it. And I wanted to mention, he got a push from Kurt, who's going to be his future teammate next year. But then the block that you brought up, Zach, on Keselowski, I was like, holy crap, they're going to crash. He held on to the car, kept Keselowski behind him. And you mentioned Joey and Brad. I think Joey and Brad are a little gun shy of each other right now. Obviously, Brad's going to Roush, but every time Joey and Brad get around each other, they tend to wreck, especially at super speedways. So I'm not sure that even though he had a teammate, I think he just wanted to stay as far away from Joey as he could, because they're crash magnets when they're together. So I might have to give him a little slack on that one. But Bubba held Keselowski behind him, and to me, that was. I don't know how he did it, because the 2 car had such a head of steam coming, but that block was amazing.
Yeah, it was a good race all around anyway. Lots of passing, lots of side by side, lots of charges, like you said. And then a couple notables. Anthony Alfredo gets his first career top 10. Not bad for old fast pasta.
I had pasta last night.
Did you eat it fast though?
I always eat fast. I'm fat. Come on.
You
know what I'm having? Wait, you know what I'm having tomorrow? Cake, baby. I'm having cake.
McDonald's, right?
No, hell no. I'm sorry. Bubba, I love you, but I don't do McDonald's. Sorry. But I do. Way to go, McDonald's, for being on the car and winning for the first time in a long time. So
94.
Yeah.
1994, and it's also the first one for the 23 since 1954.
Okay, I got a question though. And the 68's never won, but wasn't the 94 the number of the car that McDonald's was on at one point?
Yes, with Bill Elliott.
That's what I thought. See,
Yep.
I got my own stats.
And Bill drove the 94 in honor of his nephew, Casey Elliott.
There you go. I see. I remember that. I've been around the sport for a long time. Tomorrow I will be 50 years old. So I'm having cake. I'm eating cake.
All of it.
All of it.
So
Yes.
you're 29 for the 21st time.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. I don't look 50, do I, guys? Do I look 50? I mean, come on, look at this face.
Anyway, one other notable is Kyle Larson has now raced both Talladega races this year, and his maximum points he has gotten from either race has
6.
been 1 point.
Oh, 1.
He got 1 point in the spring, and he got 1 point this weekend. So Talladega is not really nice to.
I actually,
money.
I was talking to Larson before the race, and I asked him about, hey, unless something catastrophic happens, and that's probably not going to happen, you're pretty much locked in for the next round. Something catastrophic happened, and I feel horrible. I really do, Kyle. I'm sorry. How can I make it up to you? I just want to ask you more questions for the rest of the year.
You need to go kick his hauler tire. That's what you got.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Kick his hauler tire so that he'll get to victory lane. They work for Brandon Brown.
Well, can I just say this? The one time we don't pick Brandon Brown on Super Speedway, he wins. All year, I picked Bubba Wallace on the Super Speedways until this weekend, and he wins.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't have mattered because I picked Keselowski and I still got 2 more points. So
I picked Kyle Busch and he ended up in another wreck.
I picked Denny and he didn't care about stage points.
Yeah, you know who I feel sorry for? Sarah. She picked Larson.
Oh man,
no.
Oh yeah, but she was like on a roll there for a while.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Right.
Yeah, she was. But yeah, that
was. Yeah, Larson's still okay in points. I mean, obviously when you have a regular season like he did, it kind of gives you a built-in mulligan for every round. He's still 22 points up. I mean, that's not amazing, but he's in the best position of obviously not given, Denny, of course, for the win, but I mean, he can still have not a great ROVAL and still be okay.
I'm only 23. I'm only 23 behind Seth. I'm 23 points behind Seth.
Yeah, but you still have Rachel between you and I.
I'm not worried about her. She'll go out this round. She's about to drop. See, the reason why the system we have where the lowest picks first has kind of evened out the playing field a little bit. And now that she's at the top, it's not,
Yeah.
So who's the picks for this weekend?
Well, real quick, one shout out for the Xfinity Series was Brandon Jones. He finished second after DNFing like 5 of the last 6 races, it seems like. So that's a nice turnaround for them. And then Joe Graff Jr. You know what? Let me double check this. This might be Joe's first top 10.
It was his first top 10.
Yep.
It was.
So his first top 10 in Xfinity.
I know Joe's PR guy. It was his first top 10.
I know. I know
and
Joe's website
he's
guy also.
Yeah.
And not only that, he started 40th and finished 10th.
That's right. He sure did.
Yeah. Yep. Started 40th, and then of course my Xfinity luck ends with picking Allmendinger.
And I will give you a little insight on Brandon Jones. My sources have told me that he will re-sign and be back next year. So that's you can expect something. I'm hoping I'm not divulging any secrets too soon, but I think that's a done deal.
Well, Jerry, my sources say that you picked first for Xfinity.
Only because Christian and Summer are not here.
Yes.
So for Xfinity, I'm going with Cindric.
Okay.
Y'all knew that was coming. Come on.
Yeah. And then the next to pick for Xfinity is myself. And I'm going to go with Mike Snyder, mainly because there's the rain in the forecast. And last year in a Rayom Brothers car, he led about 10 to 15 laps in the rain.
And you might need to win to advance.
Yeah. And Justin, you're next to pick for Xfinity.
Who did you pick again?
I picked Mike Snyder. Jerry picked Cindric.
Then I'm gonna go Allmendinger. I mean, when we get to road courses and ROVALs, there's just some guys that just stand way out on this field. So Allmendinger is one of those.
And Zach, it's your turn to pick for Xfinity.
I think I'm gonna go with Noah Gragson. I don't think he's ever won on a road course, but he was second at the ROVAL last year when it was all craziness. But he's a good road racer. He just has to keep his cars together. He's been on a hell of a run. Talladega was tough, but he was leading when that big wreck happened. So I'm gonna go with Gragson.
Well, Zach, guess what? You get to pick first for Cup.
I know. Yeah. It's good to be leading the points in one series. Feels good. With Cup, I have a list of 3 guys here. Chris Bell. I don't think he's done in the playoffs. I was really impressed with him at Dega last week, and he's a hell of a road racer. It's where he got his win at Daytona and the road course earlier this year. It's, I got good stats behind me with him, but it's also just something, sometimes get a gut feeling. I just feel like Bell's fight to stay in the playoffs isn't over yet. He does have to win, most likely. So, yeah, I'm going to go with him.
And by 1 point, Justin picks next. Otherwise, he would have been tied with Zach.
Oh, wow. Okay. Dang. It feels like the ROVAL's different every year. Man, do I want to see, the thing is, do I want to go for the guy who's going to win or the guy who's going to go consistently?
Well, you could always double up on Allmendinger.
Oh, he is entered in that. That's right. Is he in a collie? He's in a collie car, right?
Yeah, he's in a collie car.
Boom. Let's do that. He won at Indy Road with colleague. Another first time, not the driver first time winner, but the team's first win. And let's do it.
And that was the first
and sweep the weekend.
And that's so far the first and only win by a non-chartered car.
Oh, that's right. They're not chartered yet. Shoot.
Jerry, you're next to pick.
Ryan Blaney, the other guy who showed up for my driver availability for the fans at Texas Motor Speedway back a few years ago. Ryan Blaney, the man has proven that he can drive on road courses, and I think he has a good shot at it this weekend.
And thank you guys for leaving Chase Elliott on the board.
You can have him. You can have him.
Now, Justin, did Rachel send any picks?
Rachel did she just now? No, she has not. But no, so I was gonna go with Chase Elliott if I wanted to go for the winner, and then my consistency guy was gonna be Chase Briscoe. But when you mentioned Allmendinger, I'm just like, shoot. Wait,
okay.
If he's not chartered, does that mean I get 0 points now?
No, I do the math to
Dang
give you
it.
points. I do the math to give you points.
Yay, good.
That's not fair.
He's just mad that I got Allmendinger.
Well, no,
That's what y'all told me.
No, I did the math for you when you picked Allmendinger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And someone picked Kyle Busch in the Truck Series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do the math and apply the math as if they were running 4 points.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, going back to the Truck Series, like no one's locked in to the final round, right? Like mathematically, no one's locked in.
No, but yeah, John Hunter and Ben are looking pretty damn good. They're 36 and 35 points up.
I mean,
Yeah.
something catastrophic would have to happen.
Right.
That shows you what John Hunter did this regular season. He had a terrible Talladega, or he was on route to have a bad Dega, but he turned it around right at the end.
Somehow.
Literally turned it. He literally turned it around at the end.
Yeah, but he had a terrible Vegas, and he's still looking in pretty good condition.
He crossed the finish line. He crossed the start-finish line backwards.
Yeah,
but imagine being the rest of those playoff drivers, the other 4 or 6 or whatever, and you have to wait 3 weeks before Martinsville.
Yeah,
that's good. That's uneasy for a lot of those guys.
Okay, well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for this week. I will say this: next week is Texas Motor Speedway. I'll be up there. Okay, apparently I'm going by myself because none of y'all like to travel. And so I'll be up there for that. And then we only have a handful of races left after Texas. I think it's Kansas, and then it's Martinsville, and then it's Phoenix. We're like, what, 4 or 5 races? Now I'm missing something. Am I missing a race?
Texas, Kansas, Martinsville, Phoenix.
Yeah, that's it.
And the ROVAL this weekend.
Yeah, that's it. After this weekend at the ROVAL, we've got a month left in the season. Can you believe that? Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you following us and watching every week. Make sure you hit the like button and the follow button and subscribe on YouTube. And we will see you next week with another episode of The Kickin' Show. And also, real quick, special thanks to our special guest, Brandon Brown. Congratulations to him.